Hello, this is the luckiest maths teacher in the world. Thank you so much for tuning into this video in which we will look at how combinations link with Pascal's triangle. So Pascal's triangle is this: you start with a 1 and then the next row has two 1s. For each subsequent row, you have a 1 at the start and the end. And we add these two to get the number between them. So 1 plus 1 is 2. For the next row, start with a 1. 1 plus 2 is 3. 2 plus 1 is 3. Always end with a 1. Next row will be 1. 1 plus 3. 3 plus 3. 3 plus 1. Always end with a 1. So for the next row, start with a 1. 1 plus 4. 4 plus 6. 6 plus 4. 4 plus 1 and end with a 1. So this can go infinitely long. I'll stop there. So just note in Pascal's triangle, this first one up here is row 0. And in each row, the first one is entry 0. So, for example, this number here is entry 2, because it goes entry 0 first, entry 2 of row 5. So the link with combinations is that the rth entry in row n is equal to n choose r. So for example, we saw before that this is entry 2 of row 5 is 10, and that's because 5 choose 2 is equal 10. For example, 4 choose 3 is 4. So the third entry in row 4, so entry 0, 1, 2, 3, third entry in row 4 is equal to 4. So let's look at how this can be of use to us. So the first way it can be of use to us is by using the binomial theorem, which helps us expand brackets like this. So this is the binomial theorem. This is a bit hard to read. It says the sum of from r to 0, n choose r times x to the power of n minus r times y to the power of r. What does that mean? Okay, what it means is if you have to expand brackets like this, we start off with n is 4, n is the power, and we start off with r equals 0. So this will be 4 choose 0. Then you take the first term in the brackets, which is 2x, raise that to the power of 4 because n is 4 and r is 0 here. R starts at 0, and then y to the power of r. So it'll be the second term to the power of r. Then we put a plus. The next term will be 4 choose 1. It'll be the first term to the power of 3 and the second term to the power of 1. Note that these two powers of each term always add up to the original power, in this case 4. So the next term will be 4 choose 2, and then we have 2x, first term to the power of 2 times 1 squared. And then we keep going. So now what we're going to do is we're going to simplify each of these. So 4 choose 0 is 1. N choose 0 is always 1. So 2 to the power of 4 is 16. And then I also have to raise x to the power of 4. I don't need to worry about the 1s here because 1 to the power of anything is just 1. So then the next term, 4 choose 1 is 4 times 2 cubed is 32. And then I've got x to the power of 3. Next one, 4 choose 2 is 6 times 2 squared gives us 24. And then the next term, 4 choose 3 is 4 times 2 is 8. And then the last one will just be 1 to the power of 4, which is 1. So there's a sort of quicker way that you can do this and understand this. So if I have something like this, start off with the first term and start with the highest power, in this case 5, and with each subsequent term, decrease the power by 1. So I start at 5, and each time I'm decreasing the power by 1. Now with the second term, start here, but go the opposite way. Start at 0 and increase it by 1. So 3 to the 1, 3 to the 2, 3 to the 3, 3 to the 4, and then finally 3 to the power of 5. Now, each of these 6 terms, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, needs a coefficient. That comes from Pascal's triangle. Because it's to the power of 5, we look at row 5, which was 1, 5, 10, 10, 5, 1. Because this is 5 choose 0, 5 choose 1, 5 choose 2, and so on. Now you can do that when the power is small, but of course if you were doing power of 20, you wouldn't be asked to do that by hand, but we wouldn't want to write out Pascal's triangle to the 20th row. But because 5 is pretty small, we're able to just get these coefficients from Pascal's triangle. If you prefer that, then calculating each of these. All right, now when there is a minus inside the brackets, every second term is negative. So this first term's positive, then we go negative, positive, negative, positive, and negative. Now we still need to simplify this a bit. So the first one's going to be x to the power of 5. The second one, we've got negative 5 times 3. So negative 15 x to the power of 4. Then positive 10 times 3 squared. Next term is negative 10 times 3 cubed. Then 5 times 3 to the power of 4. And then finally 3 to the power of 5. And there we go. We have expanded these brackets. All right, let's look now at another question involving expanding brackets. So we're going to find the coefficient of x to the power of 8 in this expansion here. We don't want to write this out by hand. It will take too long. We're really only interested in the term that has an x to the power of 8. So let's look at what that term would be. Well, to get x to the power of 8 from x squared, I need to raise it to the power of 4. So it will be x squared to the power of 4. Now you remember in the previous slide I said that for each term the powers add up to this number here. So the second term in the brackets 2, it will be raised to the power of 7 because 4 plus 7 is equal to 11. Now it needs the binomial coefficient, it needs the n choose r coefficient. So because we have powers of 4 and 7, this number that goes here will be 11 choose 4. It's also 11 choose 7. 11 choose 4 and 11 choose 7 give you the exact same number. So if I expand this out, I get 11 choose 4 is 7, 9, 20 times 2 to the power of 7 is 128 times x to the power of 8. So putting this on my calculator, I get 1013760 x to the power of 8. That is the term. So the coefficient of x to the power of 8 is just that number there. How good are combinations for helping us? All right, let's look at another example of where Pascal's triangle can help us, and that's looking at power sets. So the power set of a set S, so we write it like this with this weird script P of S, is the set of all subsets of S. What does that mean? So if S is the set 1, 2, 3, 4, the power set of S is going to be each of the possible subsets of S. So in the power set is always this element, the empty set. That is a subset of any other set. So then we're going to write out all of the subset of S that contain one element. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. Okay, now we're going to write out the subsets of S that contain exactly 2 elements. So we have 1 and 2, 1 and 3, and so on. So now we're going to write out the subset of S that have exactly 3 elements. So 1, 2, 3 is one such example. 1, 2, 4 is another such example, and so on. And finally, we always include in the power set the set itself. Any set is a subset of itself. So here we have all of the possible subsets of S. Now just note when you're writing these out, something like 1, 2, the set 1, 2 is exactly the same as 2, 1. So we don't write those twice because sets are not ordered. Also something like 2, 2, that's the same as just the set containing 2 because the order doesn't matter. So let's look at how many elements will be in the power set of a set like this. Well, firstly, we looked at the sets in which there were no elements. So there's only one of those. So we had 4 elements from S, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we chose 0 of them. Then what we did was we went through and chose all of the sets in which 1 element was taken from S. The number of those sets is 4, choose 1. Then we looked at the subsets of S containing 2 elements. We're choosing 2 of these from 4. 4 choose 2 is 6. You can see there were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 subsets of S with exactly 2 elements. And then the number with 3 elements was 4, choose 3. And then the number with all 4 elements was 4, choose 4, which is 1. So it turns out that if you take a number n, and you go n choose 0 plus n choose 1, all the way up to n choose n, you always get 2 to the power of n. In this case, 2 to the power of 4, which is 16. So there were 16 subsets of S that make up the power set. And that's because the entries in row n of Pascal's triangle always add up to 2 to the power of n. So remember, this was row 0. The entries there add up to 1, 2 to the power of 0. In row 1, they add up to 2, which is 2 to the power of 1. And then in the second row, they added up to 4, then 8, then 16, and in row 5 they add up to 32. So the entries in row n of Pascal's triangle always add up to 2 to the power of n, and that's very important for things like counting the number of elements in a set. Here the power set, its elements are set themselves, but it's really helpful for counting. It's a property that comes up a lot in maths. All right, thank you so much for tuning into this video. This has been the luckiest maths teacher in the world. Have a great day.